day of January 2017. It's a foggy day out there, foggy, cold day. What is the official weather here? 53.6 degrees. How do we go from being so hot to so cold just literally overnight? Well, where do I begin this morning? Todd and I have been talking for the last 30 minutes, and it's everything I had planned to say just changed. But I can, let me bring it back around. My name is Gilbert Carmona. I am an enrolled agent. I am a tax preparer. I am an accountant. I am a financial planner, among other things. I hold real estate licenses in North and South Carolina. What I do best, what I do most is tax preparation, IRS resolution. I was going to say conflict resolution, because there's usually a conflict when you get that letter. IRS resolution, if you've got a problem with the IRS, you've got a problem with a state taxing authority. I also do business consulting. I help investors. If it's financial, you can give me a call about it. I'd like to welcome our Northland Cable subscribers today. Northland Cable Channel 5, those of you live streaming on www.wcab59.com, watching us live here in the Blue Room. Good morning to you. Good morning to everybody. My engineer this morning, Todd. Good morning to you, Todd. If you want to call me, my telephone number is 828-289-9300. You can call me live here at the studio if you have any questions. Todd, we're not going to put you on the air, but Todd will take the question, and if I can answer it, I will answer it on the air. If not, I will get back to you. You can email me at gilbert@gilbertcarmona.com. You can shoot me an email there, and I can help you with that. Answer any questions that you have. It's already starting. People have a lot of questions. Tax season's officially underway. Now, as I have said before, tax season is now a year-round event. It's a year-round event for me. It's a year-round event for businesses. Regulatory is year-round. So, but officially, the first day to officially e-file is Monday. So the floodgates at the IRS will be opened on Monday, and we can send all those tax returns. Now, I've had a lot of people come already. I've already prepared about a dozen tax returns, and we send them up to the server, and they sit there patiently waiting for the IRS to receive them. Now, the IRS has actually let a few go through. What they do is they run tests, because when they open up those floodgates Monday, there will be about 35 million. I've heard 35 to 51 million. It just depends. Tax returns waiting to go through the portal there and be accepted. So they'll let small batches through just to make sure that their system is up and working. But it's not going to speed up your refund any. And that's people think that because if they can get in there earlier, they're going to get their money earlier. Oh, it doesn't work that way. This year, I'm going to talk a little bit about that later. We have new deadlines, new dates. I've talked about it quite a bit. I'm going to talk about it some more. For those of you getting earned income tax credit, child tax credit, additional child tax credit, there are going to be some delays. A state, Hawaii, can you believe this, Todd? 16 weeks for your refund in Hawaii. Other states are following suit. They're delaying this. I'll talk about that some more. I'm going to talk about if you're a contractor or you're an installed contractor sales, there's some new forms that you need to be aware of. I haven't talked about this sooner. They became active 1/1 of this year. They actually issued a directive in November. I'm just going to lightly talk about it. There's a lot of issues here. If you are in installed sales, if you're a plumber, an electrician, you're in the trades, the North Carolina may have you change the way you've been doing your business in relationship to taxes and sales tax. I'm going to talk a little bit about that, and the filing deadline changes, and what else, Todd? What else was I going to talk about? I'm going to talk about this letter from the IRS right now, but I have a guest. In the second part of the program, I've actually got a live guest who is a local real estate developer, investor, entrepreneur, businessman. We're going to talk a little bit about the real estate market, the real estate business, and what it's doing. Should I get my Trump talk out of the way? Gilbert talks Trump. That's what everybody wants to hear about. Everybody's going, talk about Trump here at the... I've got a full studio here, by the way. Everybody wants to hear about Trump. Well, for those of you that might not be aware, for the few people that might not have noticed, we have a new president, officially. President Trump. And I like the sound of that. I've been calling him President Trump for about a month now, so I'm a little ahead of the curve. And Vice President Pence. So yesterday's inauguration was absolutely beautiful. His speech was short and to the point, and it was about us. It was about us. It was not about himself. I thought the humility for a man who the media constantly accuses of being arrogant and full of himself, I thought his speech was one of the humblest speeches I've ever heard. Everything he said is, it's about you. What I do will be for you. That's the only time, Stott, I heard him use the word I, when he said, what I am going to do is for you. And I thank you. And I think he used I like 3 times or 4 times in the whole speech. And it was all about you. It was all about us, Americans. And to have a president rooting, is that the right word, for Americans, and talking about America being great again, I haven't heard a speech like that since Reagan. I can't, and I pretty much have listened to most of them. I think I've skipped a couple of the second time arounds with some of them, but it was really incredible. It was very, very, very touching. So let me talk about one thing we learned from the media yesterday is that they learned absolutely nothing November 8th. Absolutely nothing. They didn't get it. They claimed they got it. The CEO of CNN said 6 weeks later, well, maybe we weren't listening to the people enough. No, you weren't. Let me just confirm what you said. But he never said he was going to start listening to the people. He just said maybe we didn't. And they haven't. They're still liars. They're still spreading fake news. They still have an agenda. They're still pushing that agenda. And what does that have to do with taxes? Everything. Because we're never going to get the truth from them. We don't know. You can't rely on them. I heard the best quote yesterday. A person said, if you don't listen to the news, you're uninformed. But if you listen to the news, you're misinformed. And I thought, is that not the truth? So what do you do? I mean, the most refreshing thing about yesterday, and I'm going to move on to the Secretary of the Treasury, but the most absolutely refreshing thing yesterday that to me personally was like a breath of fresh air was how many people got up and read the Bible and quoted scripture and gave God the glory. I mean, everybody, all the religions that were there, the different religions that were there, I don't say all the different religions that were there, and I thought Reverend Rodriguez, he read Matthew 5. And I mean, I need a whole program to read Matthew 5, but folks, read it. Read Matthew 5. When he said that, blessed are you when they mock you, was he not speaking to all of us? Because we have been mocked. We have really, really been mocked. The media has mocked us. The media has what's that old saying? Mocked us to scorn. I mean, it's been shameful, but it was so good, and I thought he had so much life, and it brought so much life. And most of you know I'm Cuban. I was born in Cuba. I am Hispanic by race. I'm an American. I've been here my entire life. I came when I was 6 months old. I consider myself an American. I became a citizen, and I'm proud of that. And to have him speak after all the lies they've said about Trump and calling him a racist because he wants to uphold our laws. Consider that. Wants to uphold our laws, and he's a racist, among everything else. And to have Reverend Rodriguez and to share Matthew 5. And as touching as that was, and I thought all the prayers were good, regardless of, I'm not saying one was better than another. I thought all of them were good. But what about Franklin Graham? What about that? When he said because they wanted to make a big mockery. You could feel it. They were going to make a big mockery that it was raining and it was going to get rained out and whatever, wherever. They're going to mock everything. They're going to mock everything this man does. I've been saying it for weeks. He could have appointed Mother Teresa, the Department of Defense, and Gandhi for Homeland Security, and they still would have mocked him. He can do nothing right. So let's not even expect them to get on board. We just have to trust, believe we all heard from God. I hope everybody prayed before they voted, and I hope everybody had a conviction that they were voting for the right person. I did, and I still do. And I'm still sticking to what God told me. He is Nebuchadnezzar. God appointed him for such a time as this to do this job. So is he perfect? No. Is he going to make mistakes? Yes. But that doesn't mean I'm not supporting him. But Franklin Graham, the rain in the Bible, and that's true. Read it. Read it. The lack of the rain in the Bible is the judgment of God and a curse. The rain in the Bible is the blessing of God and the promise of the future. It's both. It's both things. And people have questions. They're just coming in, Todd. The questions are just coming in. Let me stay focused here before we take our first break. So the rain, Franklin Graham, when he stood up and he said that, it's a sign of God's promise, and it's a sign of a blessing. And that was so touching. So that was like a breath of fresh air. All the prayers, and before and after and during, and I guess it just went on. And I was so glad to see that. There was more prayers. I was actually trying to work while watching this. And people were texting me. There were people that couldn't watch it at their work. I was talking to my back office at HD Vest on the financial planning side, and my back office, Danielle, she couldn't watch it because they don't let their computers there for security purposes. So she was like, "Tell me about Melania's dress," and she was like, "Tell me." So, and that's the kind of stuff. So it's like, I'm trying to do some work here, okay? But who could work? I mean, this was such an exciting moment, such an exciting moment. Now I got a few minutes. Trump nominated Mr. Mnuchin for the Treasury. Good and bad. There's good and bad there. And I'll be the first to admit it. The guy's got some issues. But on the other hand, he's a smart man who knows how this game is played. And he knows what it's going to take to get things done right. I trust him in the areas that I trust him in. There was a lot of issues about him using tax shelters, offshoring. They made that sound like it's a bad thing. It's really not. It is legal. He did nothing illegal. No, and I've said this on this program for 3 years. Nobody walks into my office and says, "Gilbert, I want to pay more taxes." You know, Todd, do you feel you've paid enough taxes? No, you don't. You need to pay more taxes. You're not taxed enough. Let me find a way for you to pay more taxes. That conversation never happens in my office. The conversation in my office is always, "Gilbert, how can I pay less taxes? I pay way too much now." And I have clients that make $3 million a year. They pay over $1 million a year in taxes. So this myth about the rich not paying their fair share is just that, a myth. And I know this for a fact because I write the checks. I mean, when a person that's making $10 million sends the IRS $3 million of it, they want you to look for something. So this man did nothing wrong. So I'm positive. I feel good about it. I'm positive about him. He's gonna get it. What I really want to know, and we'll take a break after this. What I really want to know is who he's going to appoint to put in charge of the IRS, because Mr. Koskinian, he's going to leave just when I got his name right. Just when I pronounced it right, he's going to leave. His term is up real soon. I'm not sure when, but it's up soon. And Trump decided to go ahead and let him stay for now. He doesn't want to rock the apple cart too much there. The guy is there, and the guy actually has done a good job. He's actually for the taxpayer. On the taxpayer side, on advocacy for the taxpayer. So he's got a good record. I don't not like the guy. I don't agree with a lot of his how he's done a few things as far as with the budget goes, but he's been a good guy. So that's going to be an issue or that I'm looking at. Who is going to get nominated for that position? Because that is really the position that affects all of us come tax time. And he said he was going to hire more people for the IRS. Actually, that's a good thing. IRS is down 30%. They've had severe budget cuts. There are less people there. And the problem is that you want good people in these positions. I've been involved in audits where you have good people conducting the audit, CPAs, top people, and that's what you want. That's the kind of people you want working there. I mean, the IRS's job is to collect the debt for the government. So let's at least get good people in there doing it that are going to be fair to the taxpayers and are going to go by the law. And that's what we need. So let's take a break, and when I come back, I'm going to talk about this IRS letter. I'm going to talk a little bit about the IRS letter and the EIC, and then we're going to talk about real estate taxes, and I'm going to introduce my investor. This is Gilbert Talks Taxes right here, WCAB 590 AM.
A good sign is good business. Make your business stand out with a professional sign from DS Signs and Graphics. Successful companies all over the Carolinas are trusting Alex at DS Signs and Graphics. He has the artistic ability to present your company's image in the best light. Not only display signs, but DS Signs and Graphics can customize banners of all sizes. And if you need magnetic signs or window and vehicle lettering, call on DS Signs and Graphics today. They offer a full line of signs and graphics for any event. 3D, sandblasted, storefront, and monument signs are part of the complete selection of quality signage. Professional signs and banners to fit any budget. Let your business stand out. Call DS Signs and Graphics today. That phone number is 286-4900. Or stop by the sign shop located on Main Street in downtown Spindale. And check the website for more suggestions at dssignsandgraphics.com.
I want to tell you about a little-known Rutherford County gem, Integrity Marble and Granite, located at 287 Shiloh Road in Forest City. They are the premier stone fabrication company in the western North Carolina region. They specialize in granite, marble, and natural stone, offering complete design and installation. Their design center and Kohler showroom features vanities, decorative accessories, bathroom, and kitchen fixtures. You do not have to go to Charlotte or Asheville for this kind of quality. We have it right here in Forest City. Stop in their showroom and browse their beautiful displays, or you can call 828-247-8801 for a free quote. You can also go to their website, www.integritymarblegranite.com, and look at the pictures and see samples of their available materials. Now, mention you heard it on Gilbert Talks Taxes, and they will give you $100 off any sink purchase. That's Integrity Marble and Granite. We are back on the air. Gilbert Talks Taxes right here, WCAB 590 AM. We have a studio full of people here. Nobody wants me to talk about taxes. Everybody wants me to talk about Trump. So the big thing is we've got Mad Dog Mattis. I talked about that weeks ago. He is the Marine general who Obama fired because really Obama fired him because he's just too good, too manly, too masculine, and just his hobbies included brawling and shooting the enemy. Now, I don't know. He's the man that said when they got into Baghdad, and my wife's half-brother served under him. He was with Army Corps of Engineers, heavy equipment driver in that push into Baghdad. And he was actually sent us some great pictures. He actually was one of the first soldiers into one of Saddam Hussein's palaces. That's how much he was in Baghdad. He was there. And Mad Dog told them to be courteous, be polite, but have a plan to kill everyone you meet. Very politically incorrect things to say, but I said it. I don't know how you feel about your military leaders, but I want to see brawling and shooting the enemy on their resume. That's just two qualities I'm looking for in the person that's going to be defending us from a real enemy. This is a real enemy that is in our country shooting and killing people. This isn't something, oh, the enemy's over there. No, they're not. Ask those people down in Orlando. Ask the people, ask any of them all over. San Bernardino, I can go Boston. We can go down a list, and the list is growing, Fort Hood. The list is growing. It's not getting smaller. So, get me going. Get me going. Now, I'm going to talk, before I introduce my guest, there's a letter that you may or may not have gotten. When I first got this letter, I thought it was a scam letter. It is from the Department of the Treasury, the Internal Revenue Service, but it's not like any other IRS letter I've ever seen. And this is the reason I do this program, why I want to educate people. This letter's real. I looked it up. I almost made a phone call to the IRS about it, but I looked it up, and sure enough, it's real. The letter says, first it's got the logo, it's got my name, and why are you getting this letter? The letter basically goes on, it's just a one-sided letter. It's letter, if you look at the lower right-hand corner, it's letter 5900. The letter says that I'm getting this letter because, according to their records, I paid a penalty in 2015 for not having health insurance. Well, no, I didn't have health insurance, and I'm not going to get health insurance. I'm not going to get Obamacare. That's a decision I made. I'll pay the penalty. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm not doing that. So, and the letter goes on to say that if you did not get coverage, you will more than likely owe a penalty again in 2017. And then how can I avoid that penalty? And it goes on to tell me that I have, and in bold letters, before January 31st, 2017, to go to healthcare.gov to sign up to avoid this penalty, and that I can find insurance for as little as $75 a month. And it goes on, it gives me the telephone number, gives me the website three more times, and again it tells me you need to do this before January 31st. Now, when has anybody ever gotten a letter from the IRS telling you how not to pay taxes? This is a promotional piece. This was done, the IRS put out, basically this is advertising. And I think this is illegal. I don't know, I don't have a law, but why, I have never seen a cross-agency thing like this. And the IRS is not supposed to share information with other agencies. That's always been root fundamental. INS, immigration, cannot contact the IRS. All these other agencies are not supposed to. Do they? Probably. We know Obama's used the IRS as a tool to get back at his enemies. We know that. That's public knowledge with that whole thing with Lerner and the 501c3s. If you put Tea Party anywhere on your application went in the garbage can. Well, not the garbage can, but it went into the bottom of a drawer. And nobody looked at it again. There are still applications out there, by the way, it's been years, and they haven't gotten an answer. So we know that, but this is a fluff piece. When I looked it up, Republicans are blasting this. They supposedly mailed out 6.7 million of these letters at a cost of like $5 million. And I know in Washington, $5 million isn't even real money, but to the rest of us who pay taxes, that's a lot of money, because we paid for this letter. This is an advertisement for healthcare.gov. But the worst part of this letter, and why I'm bringing it up on my show, is because if you read this letter, it reads like if, well, let me say this. The people that put this letter out and are defending it, I forgot the senators, said the reason they're doing it, or the IRS, the representative at the IRS said the reason they're doing it is because there are still people out there who don't know they can buy health insurance and not pay this penalty. Really? There are people out there that still know that after 5 years of this mess? There are people that don't know this? I've yet to meet one. So that's lie number one. Then they said that they need this to educate them so they don't get the penalty. But when has the IRS ever cared about you not paying a tax? It's your responsibility as the taxpayer to know the law. That's their position on everything else. Believe me, I've pled ignorance to the law on cases before with clients. The client didn't know, blah, 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 you fill in the blank. And the agent will tell you with a little smirk on their face, That's not our problem. The client's supposed to know that. The taxpayer is supposed to know that. All of a sudden, they're advocates for this. It's hypocritical. It's so bad, get me going. But the worst part is, when you read this letter, it reads like, if I sign up by January 31st, I'm not going to pay the penalty for this tax season. No, this is for next year. It has nothing to do with last year. So they want to clarify things. They've confused it even more. This letter reads like, if you do this, you're not going to get hit with the penalty for last year when I do your taxes this month. No, if you didn't have insurance in 2016, you will pay a penalty this year in 2017 when I do your taxes. If you don't have it in 2017, you're going to pay the penalty in 2018. The letter does not make that clear, and it's confusing people. Now, I've asked several people about it, including, can I say it was you? Including Todd. And he said he thought it was junk mail and threw it out. Because when you look at it, it looks like junk mail. It's a one-page thing. It doesn't look like an IRS letter. And it's just, I got this, and the more I researched it, the more it's everything that's wrong with our government right there in one letter. And Trump's going to get rid of the thing anyway, so what's it matter? Okay. Now, I'm debating, should I take my break? Let me go ahead. Let me say this for 2 minutes, and then let me introduce you. That way we'll have an uninterrupted 15-minute piece. I've got a guest here that I'm really excited about introducing. But let's go ahead and take a break. But before we take that break, I want to talk about Open Box. They're having another sale again. Open Box at 374 Charlotte Road, right next to the VA clinic at the Hilltop Plaza there where the old Food Lion used to be, next to TD Bank. Get on in there. They've got interiors, and they've got bicycles. And those of you who heard last week, I got my wife the most beautiful little 24-inch aluminum bicycle. She thinks I'm just the most wonderful guy for getting that for her. It's green and blue and got a little yellow stripe on it and yellow spokes. It's wonderful. Now, last week I said, mention Gilbert Carmona and you will get absolutely nothing, because prices this low, they got nowhere to go. People showed up and told Steven, the owner, said, Gilbert said I'll get nothing. Steven said, I'll give you an extra 10% off. Don't worry about it. If you listen to Gilbert, I'll give you 10% off. So stop by there. But he is having a sale today on interiors and furnishings and all kinds of things. That's Open Box. Prices wholesale to you. 374 Charlotte Avenue. They're going to be open from 10 to 4. Let's go ahead and take a break. Gilbert Carmona, Gilbert Talks Taxes, right here, WCAB 590 AM.
I want to welcome Tim Schlabach and Foothills Photo Works, a professional hybrid commercial photography studio. If you're concerned about your social media image, listen up. Whether you're an executive, real estate broker, lawyer, or business owner, your image matters now more than ever. And you know first impressions count. Whether you need professional portraits, corporate headshots, images of your products or facility, aerial photography, and videos of buildings, boats, or large acreage, affordable professional help is here for you. Foothills Photo Works can create media that will help your prospects get to know you better and help you look your best. Foothills Photo Works is located at 362 Charlotte Road in Rutherford, North Carolina, but you need to call for an appointment. That number is 828-668-2304. Mention this ad and receive 15% off your first session. That's 828-668-2304. Foothills Photo Works, your media professionals. What can I say about Cafe at the Mall, Cafe to Go, and 10 North Trade Cafe Bakery that can do them justice? The cakes, fresh baked breads, sandwiches, and salads, everything is delicious and perfect. Whether it's sit-down dining, lunch on the run, or catering for any occasion, Cafe at the Mall, Cafe to Go, or 10 North Trade Cafe Bakery is the place to go. Stop in at Cafe at the Mall, Cafe to Go, and 10 North Trade Cafe Bakery and mention Gilbert Talks Taxes and get a free cranberry oatmeal cookie, the official cookie of Gilbert Talks Taxes.
We are back. We are back. That was a short break. Right here, this is Gilbert Talks Taxes. Let me welcome everybody again. Northland Cable subscribers, Channel 5. Those of you live streaming, watching us live here in the Blue Room, www.wcab 1059.com. Temperature outside 53.9 degrees on this Saturday, January 21st, the day after the inauguration. Now, I have with me, let me say this. Mortgages right now are in the news. It's a huge deal. This reverse mortgage thing that's happening is major. People are losing their homes to it. They signed contracts. They didn't read them. So the foreclosure, we're not out of the foreclosure market yet. And I have a lot of people contact me about investing in real estate. On the taxation side, I've actually got a phone call the other day of a man who invested in real estate, sold the property, actually made some money, and his lawyer said, be sure to set about a third of that aside for taxes. And the man's eyes about bugged out of his head and said, what taxes? So, no, if you make money, because he made quite a bit of money, and the lawyer was worried. So the lawyer referred him to me, and I was able to help him get his hands around that, because he didn't even know. He didn't even know how to avoid that. So, real estate. Now, I got to disclaim, I do have a real estate license in North Carolina and a real estate license in South Carolina. I keep my licenses active. I don't sell real estate, only because it's just not something I want to do. I don't engage in that. I do refer people every now and then. People will have, as part of an estate plan, we may need to sell off some assets, sell off some real estate. I'll get involved in the sale of it, the appraisal of it, and refer them on to another realtor, or refer them on to an auction house, or just help them sell the property outright, and refer them on to an investor. But mostly I keep it because I have about 4 million-dollar producers as clients, realtors, and I need to be current on the law. I need to be current on everything, not just the tax law, but the real estate law. So, with all that disclaiming going on, I'd like to welcome to my program Keith Reno. He is the president of Safe House Asset Management right here in Rutherford County. He is an investor. He's really an entrepreneur. He's a developer. He's a remodeler. He's a businessman. Our relationship goes back about 10 years now on the business side.
Yeah.
I've been working with you about 10 years. Now, first let's talk about, and this is going to be quick, you are the developer working on the Railroad Avenue project right across the street here.
That's correct.
When is that project going to open?
Well, we're looking at probably the 1st of April.
It's really cute. You've really turned that little building around. Now, you own the little building and the house.
That's correct.
Okay, the house right now is, you're renting it?
We're renting the house right now.
Okay,
and we're in the process of working out all the kinks that come with real estate, the bugs. But we had to get some grading done, and we're working on the parking lot, but it's going to be coming soon.
What is going to be there?
Oh, we're going to have, well, let me just say, we're going to have food, and we'll leave it generic.
Food. Well, listen, we need food, okay, and we need some good food on that road. It'd be great to have. Will there be coffee?
There will be coffee.
Coffee, food, and coffee. Todd, what else do you need?
That comes with my disclaimer in the morning. I'm not responsible for anything I do or say until I have
Till you
2 cups of coffee.
Until you have 2 cups of coffee.
Then if you had to leave, you gotta get coffee.
We just sent out for coffee, yeah. So there we go. Let's just stop there. But the building is cute. It's just adorable what you've done in there. I was in there right after you bought it, and I thought, what can you do with this? And I turned around 6 months now? 7 months now?
Probably.
It's beautiful. It is really beautiful. So you develop real estate, you buy houses, you buy buildings, you buy commercial, you buy residential. What are the 3 biggest challenges as a real estate investor that you have?
Well, let me say this. We're in South Carolina as well, because generally speaking, the economy of the upstate has been stronger than where we live here, but I would definitely like to be more in this area because it's closer to home. really the first thing we got to do is we got to find these properties, and that includes working with people you can trust, working with a good realtor that knows what's going on. Now, I do know, I keep up with some of the market prices, but I just don't have enough time to invest in knowing everything. It's kind of like Donald Trump, you know. He doesn't know everything. He just needs to have good people that do what he can trust, put in place, and they say, do this, they do it.
Exactly. No, exactly. That's true.
So, and that goes for, that steps right on down to my accountant, which is part of the reason I'm here, because you've got to have people that are on your side, that are there to help you, and you can turn things over to them and say, and you know that you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. The expenses and taxes are huge issues that I always see with real estate. People that are investing in real estate, people that want to buy, you know, and all these cable TV shows make it look, or even network TV shows, make it look like flipping a house is the easiest thing to do.
Well, we've actually done a couple of those shows in Greenville on a local level, and yeah, they were fun at the time, a little bit of a challenge, but that's exactly right. They don't give you the true reality of what you're having to deal with. Sometimes I get into something, I don't research it enough, but we know kind of the price point, and we know what the property should sell for, and sometimes we get a big surprise. But that's just part of it. That's part of the drama, I guess, of the business.
Yeah.
And I guess one of the main things that when you're working with real estate, you've got to know what you're going to put your money into that's going to improve your investment. Case in point, when you know, if the wife comes in and she doesn't like the kitchen and the master bath, I don't care if it does have 100 acres and you can hunt and fish on the land, but she's not going to be happy. So
right, and those are the kind of decisions that it's so hard. And you said it right there. You can have a beautiful property and just a really ugly house, and it'll kill the property and bring the value down. The thing I see, because I see people's finances, they all want to talk about the flip that they made $50,000 on, but they never want to tell you about the flip that they lost $50,000 on.
the flop.
The flop. The flop. That's good. I'm going to use that. Thank you. Thank you for that. They don't talk about the flop. They all want to talk about the flip, and they want to tell you. And when I tell me about this property, you bought it for $100,000. You put $80,000 into it, and you sold it for $150,000. Can we discuss this? Oh, that. Oh, that.
That's that 2 o'clock in the morning discussion, right?
Yeah, and they don't. That sometimes we have as we're going through the books. So it's a complicated business. Are you finding Rutherford County? Because you said it, Greenville. I know most of your jobs have been in Greenville. Most of the houses, Greenville, the upstate, Spartanburg. These are growing areas. Landrum, with the equestrian International Equestrian Center that's come there. There's been a strong equestrian community in Landrum, Campobello area, Inman. So I know that those areas have been booming. But what are you finding North Carolina? North Carolina, but how's Rutherford County? What are the prospects here?
Well, you know, it's picking up. It's definitely all we can do is go up, right? Especially with this new administration. The Lake Lower Chimney Rock area is it's stronger this time of year right now than it has been for a long time. Mm-hmm. So,
did the fires put a damper on anything?
Well, Not really. I mean, just for a couple weeks, but the people are still coming in, and it's not obviously it's not their peak time of year, but they're still selling properties up there, and we've got a few right now we're renovating, working on up that way. And
well, you had a property right next to the fires.
Absolutely. I turned into a volunteer fireman there for a day.
yeah. I heard you went up there. You went up there and pitched in and helped them. And those guys, we can't thank them enough.
No.
I know we did. We had no property loss in North Carolina, unlike Tennessee, and I know it was because of their efforts. Especially up there in Bat Cave, Chimney Rock area, there was they stopped that. So
they did a great job.
They did a great job. We're grateful. So Rutherford County. I know a lot of people were really banking on this Tryon International Equestrian Center to they were almost looking for an immediate fix, but it's not going to be. And I said it in the beginning. This is a very long-term investment. These people that they've invested $25 to $50 million.
It's unbelievable.
And long, but I've spoken with them. I've actually spoken with the principals there, the two men from Florida, and to them it's a very long-term investment. So what do you think is going to happen to not that side of the county so much? What do you think is going to happen as we get to the northern part of the county? Some of those your Bostic, your Sunshines, your Washburn communities. You think those areas are going to improve?
Well, I think we're going to see some improvement there. I mean, let's face it, this is a great place to live and raise a family, and people are moving in from all over the country into the Carolinas. Why? Because it's a great place.
Yeah.
And I'm always I have no problem with people moving here. This is a conservative area, and when I run into them and I tell them, look, you're from New York, you're from Pennsylvania, you're from
California.
Some of these places.
I'm shocked how many have come here from California.
Absolutely.
They want to get away from the left coast, they've told me.
Yeah. But I always tell them that we're looking. You're welcome here. Just don't bring your ideology with you, because
leave your politics back at home.
You've already destroyed your state. That's why you left. So don't do the same down here. We're red down here. Let's keep it that way.
Well, and a lot of them are coming here. I mean, a lot of them that come here are coming here because of our values, and that's the thing you can't I don't want to let go of. They appreciate it. Look deep down. I'm getting back to this. Deep down, I really believe that we're all conservative. I really do. Everybody can spout all this stuff, but when it comes to family, home, country, watching out for each other, like Mad Dog said, all I care about is whose side you're on in a battle. That's all we care about. So there's a lot of good people coming down here, and they're interested in buying this real estate. And we've had a flight. We really have. We've had a whole generation of young people that have left the county because there's no jobs. There's no reason for them to stay.
And I have optimism that that's going to change. We've got some industries coming in. I mean, it's not BMW, but 100 here, 50 there, 50 new jobs. People need housing. People need places to live.
I know there was some bad news. 160 people got laid off from a business because one of their clients decided to offshore the service they provide. But I spoke with somebody from there, and they said, oh no, that's turning around. There are other clients stepping in. And yes, 160 were let go from that side of the business, but many were absorbed in the other side of the business. And this is just a minor bump in the road. They're optimistic that their business is going to grow. So now you buy houses. I don't want to say you buy ugly houses. But you buy houses. You're always on the lookout for real estate.
That's right.
And you're commercial, residential.
Well, I do more residential, but we're open for anything that that comes along.
What about pre-foreclosures?
Well, we work with foreclosures right now. I've got another business, and we handle a lot of foreclosures. That's kind of what exposed me to the market years ago. And
oh, that's right. That's how you got into it. You got into it with the whole foreclosure,
right?
When that whole cycle happened with foreclosures.
We are a HUD contractor. I now work for Ben Carson. I'm so happy to say.
Really?
And he's my new boss. And
when you talk to Ben, tell him I said hi. Tell him I'd like to get him on the program.
I'm looking for some great opportunities here.
Yeah. I regret I didn't talk to Trump, 9 months ago when I could have gotten an interview. When they wanted me to go up to Hickory to get an interview. At that time, I was busy and I couldn't go. And now you look back and you go, what was I thinking?
Yeah.
What was I thinking? So if you talk to Ben,
I passed his bus in Greenville a few times, in the primaries, and I should have waved him down.
I know, and gotten me an interview. And actually, I could have had one. If people have some residential properties that are in pre-foreclosure, or if people they're in a state, they got some vacant property that's been inherited, something here in the county that they want to sell, or at least they want you to maybe even look at and talk to them about it. They don't know what to do, or they're in some financial problem. They've got a reverse mortgage problem, whatever. How can they reach you?
Well, my number's, of course, area code 828-289-4259, and that's my cell phone. I usually always have it on me, and I'd be glad to talk to anybody that wants to call. And closings can be relatively quick as long as we can get a clear title, title insurance, and that's about the only thing. And
well, we didn't even talk about that. The biggest problem, I know we're running a little bit ahead of time here. We have one more break, right? Just one more? Yeah, I can wait. This is an interesting topic. This is a very, very interesting topic. We didn't talk about that. A lot of the people that I've talked to that have tried flipping a home, they make the one key mistake, and that is they go to a bank for their money. Bank fees will kill you.
Absolutely. Closing
costs will kill you. And then they expect the seller to eat those costs. They want the seller, well, I've got $5,000 in closing. No, when you're doing this as a business, the seller is usually dealing with sellers that are trying to get as much money as possible.
Right. You've got to look at all your expenses, what it's going to take. You've also got to look at your back end costs, your closing costs. Most of the time, the
most important
the buyers have to have you cover that to make the loan go through.
And the most important thing that people a lot of times don't think about is
your tax implication.
Your tax implication and your taxes. I've so many people. I bought a house and their taxes hadn't. I bought a foreclosure. I bought an estate and taxes hadn't been paid. What do? You pay the taxes. Well, nobody told me about that.
and
they just did.
Here's the thing. You have to have someone that you can trust that's going to be on top of this, keeping up with this, and you want somebody working for you, not working for the IRS.
And that goes for your accountant, and you need a real estate agent that's working for you too, if you're going to work with a real estate agent.
Absolutely, and that's how I found Gilbert. I don't know 10 years ago.
It's been 10 years.
Has it been 10 years?
10 years. We've been working together for 10 years. A little bit, 10 years.
And if nothing else, I thought I'd come on here and just say that he's a great partner to have when it comes to an accountant. He knows how to expense. He knows how to. He works for you.
Well, I appreciate that. I really do, Keith. I really do. That really means a lot to me. If you want to get a hold of Keith, give me that number one more time, Keith.
Okay, it's 828-289-4259.
4259. And his name is Keith Reno, Safe House Asset Management. Give him a call if you have any properties that you're looking to sell or you just want to talk to him about. Now, one thing we didn't get into is we talked a little bit, you and I have talked a little bit about partnerships, partnering with somebody also to improve a property, that's also a possibility some people don't look at. Hey, you don't have to do it all yourself. You know, Donald Trump, all his projects are partner projects.
That's right.
He works with other people, and it takes a lot of people. Let's go ahead and take a break. Keith, I want to thank you for being here. Very informative.
Right.
Let's go ahead and take a break, and I'm going to wrap up by talking about sales tax for you contractors. This is Gilbert Talks Taxes right here, WCAB 590 AM.
Get back in step again. Your feet don't have to hurt. A trip to the Foot and Ankle Center of the Carolinas may get you started living pain-free. Contact Dr. Jerry Gross at the Foot and Ankle Center of the Carolinas, 289 Shallow Road, Forest City. That phone number is 245-6405.
Hi there, this is Kimberly, and I'm here to tell you about Peterson's Auto Service and Detail Shop. As a woman, I'm often apprehensive about taking my car to a dirty service garage. But you can be assured that Peterson's, located at 478 Butler Road, Forest City, has an incredibly clean and safe environment where you get high-quality service at a great price. Peterson's was voted Rutherford County's best auto service 3 years in a row. So take your car to Peterson's for brakes, oil change, North Carolina inspection, tire rotation, headlight lens restoration, scratch removal, and meticulous auto detailing. That's Peterson's at 478 Butler Road, Forest City. You can call him for an appointment at 245-8889. Mention you heard Kimberly on WCAB 590 AM, and Peterson will give you $20 off a full detail or $5 off your next North Carolina inspection. Peterson's Auto Service and Detail Shop, a place I feel comfortable going to.
I get asked all the time, Gilbert, with 2017 already here, will your hair continue to look as fabulous as it looked in 2016? The answer is yes. How can I say that so confidently? Because I go to Robin at RSL Salon. Call Robin for an appointment, 289-9110, or call Emily at 447-3524. Whether it's hairstyling, manicures, or pedicures, it's always RSL Salon, because everyone deserves to look fabulous. We are back already. Gilbert Talks Taxes. I'm just ready to go. We're talking here the whole time we're off the air. This is Gilbert Talks Taxes. I am Gilbert Carmona. If you need to get me, my telephone number is 828-289-9300. I have an office right here next to Southern Baptist Church on Whitesides Road, 113 Whitesides Road. I have another office in Tryon at 226 South Trade Street at the beautiful Art Deco building. And we are tax preparers. And yes, I do simple tax returns. I said last week, so I got some phone calls and people say, I listen to you and I really enjoy listening to you. You really know what you're talking about. But I just have a simple tax return. Do you do those? I hear you talk about all these complicated tax returns with all these IRS problems. Yes, I do simple tax returns. As a matter of fact, please bring me a simple tax return.
I'll be there this afternoon.
I will be there today, as a matter of fact. We're leaving here. We're going to go get some donuts and coffee, get back to the office, and we're going to go over to Davis, get some donuts, a free plug, and go back to the office. I will be there from 10 to 5 today. Bring me a simple tax return. Bring me a complicated tax return. Bring me any tax return. Taxation is what I do. I really enjoy it. We also do full service accounting and consulting, as you just heard. We help investors. We help everybody. Now, I don't want to get in. I don't want to get into this in depth because there's a lot to this, and you really need to have a one-on-one conversation with your accountant, your bookkeeper, and your tax preparer, maybe even your lawyer. If you are a contractor, an installed sales contractor, or a contractor, subcontractor in North Carolina, you need to be aware of sales tax and what is happening there. There have been some changes. I've had some conversations with some people about this, and the opinion that some people are having is that, and this is a totally different sidebar, North Carolina 2 years ago went to a flat tax. Income tax, flat income tax, 5.75% that you all had to fill out brand new your W-2, your NC-4 withholding statements where you work. They removed your dependents, and people thought, well, we're not getting money for dependents anymore. No, you're not getting money for dependents anymore. They don't have the child credit like they did. You're chortling at that. You just think that's really funny, not getting money for dependents. But what happened is, because of the flat tax, they tried to balance things out. They got rid of a lot of deductions that you were getting. Again, we're going to a flat tax. So the opinion that some people are having is that they are going to go possibly, and I'm not saying that they're doing this, it just, everything I'm reading, you wonder if they're going to eliminate or substantially scale down state income tax in favor of sales tax. You know, there are 10 states that do not have state income tax. Tennessee is one of them, Florida, Texas. I deal with those because I've got clients that live in those. There's other states too, but I mostly deal with Tennessee, Florida, and Texas. I have several businesses in Texas, and it's a major relief. We don't have all that state stuff for all their employees. So if they go that way, before they go that way, they need to secure all their sources of income of sales tax revenue. So one of them is, we taxed labor for the first time ever in this state, and that's created quite a lot of confusion. If you're a contractor, there were some new forms that came out. Now, the form E595E, which is the exemption certificate, which is the form that you use when you want to be exempted from sales tax. What they, and I need to, like I said, you need to really talk to your accountant if you're a contractor, a subcontractor, and get clarification on this. What they're allowing now is for contractors to register with the state, get your sales tax ID number, buy product without paying sales tax, and then if you're not doing capital improvements, which brings us to the next form, which is the, let me get to that in a minute. Let me finish this thought. They want you to buy your product tax exempt and then charge the sales tax on the product and the labor when you install it. So you can actually load up all your inventory tax exempt. Those of you, especially plumbers and electricians that stock a lot, I know other trades do too, but plumbers, electricians will stock a lot of product. Certain landscapers that do that do sprinkler systems and things, they'll stock a lot of product because they don't know when they'll need it. You'll get a call. You need to go and do an installation now. You don't have time to go get those products, especially in rural North Carolina where the wholesalers could be far away. So you're buying this product. They want you fill out that form and you buy it, and then you tax it so you can store an inventory. So what the big difference here is, I know we're running out of time, the big difference here is where most of my clients that are plumbers and electricians, even drywall installers, I know drywall installers that do emergency work, and they will keep in their warehouse several hundred sheets of the different sizes of drywall. You 4x8, 4x12, they'll have 3/8, half-inch, 5/8, they'll have it in stock so that when they get a call, an emergency call, a fire or a flood, or with this hurricane that we just had, in a disaster, locally, it's not the time to be looking for this material. So they'll warehouse it. So they buy it, they go ahead and buy it and pay the tax on it. They don't want to have the headache on the back end. The North Carolina, it appears from the directives and from the paperwork that we're seeing, they want to switch it to the other way. What they're trying to do is they want to make sure that the labor is being taxed. That's the issue here, I think. We don't know enough yet. I've got confirmation from my staff who's been researching this with me. They are. That's the issue. They want to collect their revenue, and they're taxing labor now. However, if you have a capital improvement that you don't pay tax on, there is a certificate of capital improvement, which is a Form E589CI. And this form, there are installed sales contractors that are having everybody sign this form, the homeowner, everybody. All it is an affidavit saying that this was in fact a capital improvement. It's not even an affidavit, no dollar amounts even go on it. So I just want to make you aware of it. I don't want to get into the 5,000 possible scenarios, because I guarantee you there are going to be 5,000 scenarios. The directive that came out in November is a 18-page directive, and it redefined a lot of things. I spent 2 hours reading it, and I said, how can and this is what I do. And I said, how are these people supposed to get their hands around this? This is going to be very complicated. So please talk to your accountant. If you're a tradesman, a contractor, a subcontractor, a general contractor, even if you do a single trade, or if you're a general contractor, if you perform it in-house or you sub, don't expect the other guy to know what he's doing. You may need to take the lead and make sure the paperwork is done. Because what can happen is the state can come back and say, you owe the money. The money was never paid. You owe it. You got a $20,000 capital improvement project. Typically, you're looking at a third is materials. Sales tax on $8,000 is a lot of money, folks. That's at 6.75%. So let me end with that. It's been a great show, Todd. Thank you so much for being with me. This is Gilbert Talks Taxes right here, WCAB 590 AM.
Will stop all the collection activities against you. These unique programs have been allocated to help the economy and significantly reduce or eliminate your tax burden. The IRS is currently accepting reduced settlements and other favorable programs. You may qualify for substantial savings, so get the help you need. If you owe the IRS $10,000 or more, call now for free information and to see if you qualify. Take down the number now for the Tax Helpline, 800-805-1055. That's 800-805-1055 for free information. 800-805-1055. That's 800-805-1055.
Overseas now, emboldened by a Donald Trump victory, far-right nationalist parties from major countries across Europe are holding a meeting today in Germany. Thousands of protesters expected outside the event. Jenny Hill in Berlin with our partners at the BBC says some of those parties have elections this year.
Marine Le Pen has significant support as a candidate for the French presidency, and Geert Wilders' Freedom Party is leading the polls in the Netherlands. Both want to hold referenda on EU membership. Their fierce anti-Islamic rhetoric is shared by Germany's own right-wing movement. Alternative for Deutschland is expected to take seats in the national parliament this autumn.
Back home, Boston police looking for the man they believe put an explosive device under a police cruiser. The device connected to a propane tank and exploded soon after the police SUV was moved on top of it. Boston Police Commissioner William Evans.
It's troubling, that anyone would do this. This has us worried.
Surveillance video from the scene showing a man police suspect planted the device. Joaquin El Chapo Guzman was first sought by U.S. authorities 2 decades ago. He's now being arraigned in New York on charges of running a massive and murderous drug trafficking operation, being held in Lower Manhattan after pleading not guilty on Friday to charges he ran one of the world's biggest drug trafficking operations. This is ABC News.
A good night's sleep starts with the right pillow. That's where MyPillow comes in, and now they're offering 2 standard queen MyPillow premiums and 2 Go Anywhere pillows for just $99.98. This offer won't last long, so call 1-800-635-1825 or go to MyPillow.com. And be sure to click on the radio listener special and use the promo code SKY. That's 1-800-635-1825 or go to MyPillow.com and use the promo code SKY, S-K-Y.
Dave Packer, ABC News.
WCAB, Rutherfordton.